In recognition of Black History Month, we are honoring game changers, individuals who are making a positive impact on communities of color in our region.
Cherry Gregg from KYW News Radio traveled to North Philadelphia, where one mother's big heart is changing the neighborhood.
Saudia Schuler is known for her personality.
Don't play with Saud.
And her cuisine.
Everything is fresh. No cans over here.
She owns Country Cooking here on North 22nd Street.
This is good.
Folks line up with Saud selling hundreds of plates every time she opens up.
I jerk chicken, her sweet potatoes, everything is really good.
But it wasn't her food that went viral last spring. It was the prom send-off for her son JJ, complete with a camel, 3 cars, 3 dates, and 6 designer outfit changes.
That prom that got me in so much trouble. Ah!
And it is Saud's big old heart that makes her a social media superstar. Like in November, when she gave away hundreds of Meek meals to spark support for rapper Meek Mill. And at Christmas, when Saudi Claus turned her North Philly block into the North Pole with reindeer, fake snow, and hundreds of toys, many donated.
We got a whole toy store here.
When people see all that you're doing and they say she has to be crazy, what do you say in response?
I just be myself. And I think that's what people love about me.
Saud says surviving a stroke and cancer, plus a generous family, is behind her desire to do for others. She mediates neighborhood rivalries and even hires youth to keep them off the corners.
I'm teaching them a craft.
And while Saud's bustling business is the engine behind it all,
I really am passionate about everything I do.
It's her over-the-top kindness that's changing the game one plate at a time. Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
In recognition of Black History Month, we're honoring game changers, individuals who are making a positive impact on communities of color right here in our region.
Cherry Gregg from KYW News Radio traveled to Camden, New Jersey, where volunteers are serving up love in a bowl.
This is chicken noodle escargot soup.
Jonathan Jerrigan isn't an ordinary chef.
And it's very delicious, I will say that.
He runs the cookery for the Cathedral Kitchen in Camden.
Tonight we'll be serving roasted turkey, garlic mashed potatoes, and a fresh vegetable medley.
He and his staff spend hours each day preparing hot, fresh food that's served to anywhere from 80 to 480 every single day.
A lot of work, but we laughed our whole way through it.
The smiles are here because, well, CK isn't an ordinary soup kitchen.
We want them to feel safe and welcome, and, you know, that they have like a place to just kind of go.
Executive Director Karen Tallarico says with the help of 8,000 volunteers, they served 100,000 meals last year here in a diverse city where 4 out of 10 live in poverty.
And we're here to help those people, you know, make ends meet.
CK is the only soup kitchen in the center of Camden. They offer take-home bags and send food to area shelters and after-school programs.
Breads, pastry, you name it, it's here.
It also provides dental care and recruits students from halfway houses for culinary and baking training with Chef Jonathan. 80% end up with a job.
So what do you think this community would be like if the kitchen didn't exist?
If we weren't here, where would people go?
To get served with love.
We want to make sure the people eat tonight, right?
And the warm comforts of home at a space changing the game, one bowl at a time. In Camden, Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
That's great.
Yeah, I never underestimate the power of a warm meal cooked with love to really make somebody feel loved.
We
you
needed
know,
to see that today.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In recognition of Black History Month, we are honoring game changers who are making a positive impact on communities of color in our area. As KYW News Radio Community Affairs reporter Cherry Gregg reports, you may have heard this 16-year-old's voice, but what you may not know is how he's using it for change.
Singer Bobby Hill wowed the world when the soprano sang flawlessly for Pope Francis.
That right there was truly the voice of an angel.
He was just 14 then. And that single performance took him to high places. Fast forward, and today, Bobby is 16 and boasts a different voice, now a tenor.
I was lucky I got a quick voice change.
A high school junior, Bobby is using his pipes for a purpose.
To draw attention to issues that are prevalent in our society.
With the guidance of family and mentors, Bobby lends his voice to raise money for pediatric cancer, ending violence, and much more.
You raise me up.
I just usually do it gratis because I really want to help change the world.
The straight-A student has sang at prisons, senior homes, and schools, and even with grueling days filled with homework and rehearsals. Passion to bring arts to underserved communities is fuel.
Music has affected me so much, and I just know how much it can change other people's lives.
Bobby's New Year's Eve benefit concert raised $7,000 to help end artlessness. How do you feel like you're changing the game?
As someone who values arts just not for pleasure, but for necessity and the well-being of others.
And he's shifting the playing field, one song at a time. Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
So honored and proud to know that young man. He's doing some good things.
Still a beautiful voice.
Wow,
a little deeper now.
A little deeper. Bobby's growing up, my man.
Yeah.
In recognition of Black History Month, we are honoring game changers, individuals who are making a positive impact on communities of color in our region.
Cherry Gregg from KYW News Radio traveled to Northeast Philadelphia, where a team of sisters is beating the odds while helping others.
I love purple. My favorite thing to do is to shop.
This is Anisha, Sakina.
I like shopping. And I read a lot.
And Karima Trice.
I'm a nurturer.
They are sisters and share quite a bit, like clothes and feistiness.
She's a more like bossy one.
But they also share a diagnosis.
Had you ever heard of an entire family of sisters being diagnosed with the same disorder?
No.
Anisha has lupus nephritis, which causes kidney failure.
They stick the needles one down, one up.
She needs dialysis 3 times a week. Sakina has systemic lupus erythematosus, or SLE.
That's the type of lupus that affects your joints, a lot of joint inflammation, skin. I had a lot of seizures.
And while Karima hasn't been diagnosed, she has all the symptoms.
My feet get swollen very bad to the point where I can't walk.
But the sisters have not let lupus stop them. Along with mom Veronica, they founded Ask Lupus to educate Black women who are 3 times more likely to develop the autoimmune disorder and are often misdiagnosed.
I want us to be able to provide support to people all over the world.
Part of the effort is leading by example. Sakina works as a lawyer, Anisha a drug counselor, and Karima is a college student, in spite of their health challenges.
How do you feel like you ladies are changing the game?
We're just making lupus something that's talked about and something that people don't have to be ashamed about.
And showing through doing that life can be good, even with a disease like lupus. Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
The sisterhood is strong and definitely changing the game. Well, in recognition of Black History Month, we are honoring game changers who are making a positive impact on communities of color in our area. KYW News Radio's Cherry Gregg took a trip to Cobbs Creek.
And that's where a nonprofit is making sports more accessible in underserved neighborhoods.
Located in the heart of Cobbs Creek,
Walk to the ice.
the Laura Sims Skate House on 63rd Street is a home away from home for hundreds of kids.
We're going to start off with some skating. Hockey is just the hook that gives us the opportunity to inspire and support our students' pursuit of academic and character excellence.
Hanj Koziara is executive director of the Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation. Started by Philadelphia Flyers founder Ed Snyder more than a decade ago, the nonprofit provides mentoring and after-school reading and athletic programming. They bring in role models and chats, servicing thousands and thousands of kids every single year.
We're in some of the most underserved areas of Philadelphia.
Traditionally a white sport, the foundation worked to recruit kids from these neighborhoods. It even worked with the city to create year-round ice rinks, providing equipment to kids for free.
I don't think any other program has as much diversity in it.
Joshua Stevenson grew up in Snyder hockey.
When I'm on the ice, it feels like heaven.
The 17-year-old is a star player for the youth team.
I learned about integrity, about maturity.
And thanks to a Snyder Youth Scholarship, all he has to do is get into Westchester University, and he'll go 4 years, all expenses paid.
I really want to make it to the NHL or play hockey for as long as possible.
And while Snyder Youth Hockey has yet to produce a pro player, they're working on it.
Finish this sentence. I believe we're changing the game by
making sure that we're using the game to support our kids off the ice.
By giving kids the love of ice and skating, as well as the integrity and grit it takes to have a productive life. Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
In recognition of Black History Month, we continue to honor game changers making a positive impact on communities of color in our area.
KYW News Radio's Cherry Gregg took a trip to West Philadelphia, where a mother is fighting gun violence in the name of a lost loved one.
This is me kicking butt out here.
Meet Movita Johnson Harrell.
I've really had to fight all my life.
She's a warrior woman going head to head with gun violence.
26 days after my son died, his only child was born.
A powerful voice at rallies and in city council, Movita's battle began after the mother of 4 moved her family to Delaware County to flee the violence in Southwest Philadelphia. But she learned it wasn't enough.
January 15, 2011, I buried my son.
Movita's youngest, Charles Andre Johnson, was gunned down in Philadelphia in a case of mistaken identity. He was 18.
Devastating. It was devastating. Because I don't worry about my daughters. I worry about my sons.
Movita, who also lost her father and brother to gun violence, funneled her grief into the Charles Foundation, a nonprofit that supports families of victims of homicide.
I wish these families didn't have to go through this.
Movita and her volunteers fund the effort, helping victims through the process.
The family may need food, they may need help with utilities.
They also work with hundreds of youth most likely to kill and lobby lawmakers for better gun control. Last month, the UPenn educated social worker was named Victim Services Supervisor for the Philly DA's office.
A homicide survivor has never sat in that seat before.
She's hoping more will join the fight.
Movita, there's a lot of people who look at gun violence and say, it's not in my backyard, I don't have to worry about it. What do you say?
There is nobody that's going to come in and save us from this. We have to save ourselves.
Armed with the family's love for a lost son, she's changing the game with her push to stop the killing. Cherry Gregg, KYW News Radio for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
We'll be to change that game.
Moms are powerful.
Indeed.
That's right.
I love it.